Let me just look at these. Keep talking. I just want to see the way these needles are moving.
Beauty. Psycho. Sniper. Pie. Gangster. Mary. Werewolf in London.
What do they all have in common?
You tell me. Give me a pop.
American.
La Chinga. What was your favorite movie that started with American? American. Could have saved myself from that if I just kept going. Alright, start us off, girl.
Hold on. Still running this test. Did you already run all the cameras?
Oh, yeah. We're on air. Can't you see the sign?
I haven't heard a clap.
We haven't done a clap. I'm putting you on the spot all day long, buddy.
All right. Pose your question again.
American. Fuck.
But then he finds a piano.
Sorry. Sounded worse on my ear.
Is this funny to you?
Beauty. Psycho. Mary. Sniper. Pie. Gangster. Werewolf in London. Which was your favorite?
I'm thinking American Psycho.
Man,
What's your thoughts?
on American Psycho?
What you must have already had one canned up.
Well, just to talk about American Psycho, I think I really have to give it.
Would we have gotten to this point if I said any other movie?
Well, I knew you were going to say that. I was anticipating this. And I think I have to give that movie another try. When I watched it, I don't know, I didn't get into it. I think that I went in with like super high expectations because it's almost like how we talked about Blue Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people hold in such high regard. It almost got moonlit in a sense. That I was like, when I watched it, yeah, not that I think that La La Land was Oscar winner as well.
I didn't watch La La Land.
Did you see Moonlight? Probably didn't even get that reference.
No.
You know, a lot of great actors did come out of Moonlight, though, I'll say that. Like Mahershala Ali, great actor, was great in The Green Book. Can't wait to see him as Blade. Ashton Sanders playing the RZA in the Wu-Tang series. A lot of talent in that movie, but it just, you know, like American Psycho is what I'm saying. I didn't think that it was all worth all the hype kind of thing. But American Mary
is interesting as well.
I really enjoyed. And that was one of those.
It was a little gruesome, though.
But it was one of those
Which
movies,
is weird to say after American Psycho.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a different type of gruesome, more realistic.
Yeah.
More like, you know, it's one of those movies that I love to show people to really test their comfort levels. Like, I was always showing people Itchy the Killer because that's an uncomfortable watch.
Right, yeah.
But I loved American Gangster as well.
With Denzel?
Yeah. And also Josh Brolin and Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
That's one that I've watched quite a few times.
I saw it one time. Yeah. It was pretty good. I did like it. It was like a 2 hour, a little over 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot was jam-packed into that 2 hours as well.
Mm-hmm.
American Werewolf in London. Mm-hmm. I watched when I was like 4 years old for the first time. And Wes is older than me by 4 years, and we were watching it. And there was like, at the perfect time, a dog bark outside or like a dog howl. And Wes was like, we got to turn this off. I can't watch this anymore.
Wes?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I was down for the ride.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Obviously, the transformation. And who said bastard?
Sorry.
I can understand how you can feel that way
These
about
pretzels
werewolves.
are making me thirsty. But they did a lot of things that were replicated after this movie, like the dream sequences and like the double dream sequences.
Oh,
You saw that in a lot of horror films after
yeah.
Werewolf in London.
Speak of the worst trend, eh?
Probably the only one of these films that got any Oscar love was American Beauty.
Yeah. With He Who Cannot Be Named.
But that's a great film.
Yeah, terrific.
Yeah. Also has a little bit of cringe to it.
No, where? That's a really strange thing to say about that.
You see any good animations from 1981?
Yeah, I've seen Heavy Metal, I think.
Did you ever see Fox and the Hound?
Do I look like I've ever been a kid?
I think that is probably the best Disney film.
Stiff competition in... What year did you say?
81.
My.
And another little diamond in the rough of 81 is the animated feature American Pop.
What's that? Some kind of soda?
Did you ever see that before?
I'm more of like a Pepsi man myself.
Oh, what about graffiti? Never got into graffiti. I never watched it, so I couldn't say it.
I know. And that's a shame. That if there's any... is it George Lucas? I think that's George Lucas's one of his first films.
Oh, yeah?
So if I ever plan to delve into any of his work, I think I'll probably start there.
Start at the roots.
Yeah.
Any lightsabers in American Graffiti?
I don't know. I've only seen the trailer. I'm sure they wouldn't want to show something important like that.
Speaking of heavy metal, this was the first movie that we watched that came with previews. So that was pretty cool.
Oh. Do you remember, did you write down what they were?
I got a couple.
Heavy
metal being one of the
I
two.
know a couple of them felt like things we might have talked about.
We talked about Spice Girls already?
Yeah, man. That one shot for the video, I think, was for that movie, right?
Yeah.
One of the greatest achievements in musical video history.
I remember watching Spice World as a kid. I was into it.
Yeah, I saw it like 2 years later on TBS.
I probably had it on VHS.
Hold on. Before we glaze it over too hard, what's your favorite Spice Girls song? Hit me with it. Tell me now.
It's got to be that one. You know, that
Wannabe?
one. Yeah, that's it.
No, I like Viva Forever. I'm a Viva Forever man myself.
Yeah, I see that. It's pretty bright in here, is it?
Rockstar little Petey here. Little cosplay. What do you think? What you come dressed as?
What, do you want to start at the end? Gonna reverse engineer this episode? Is this the outro?
Yeah, this is the future, baby.
God damn. You know, I think a lot of people that watch movies from the 80s and 90s can appreciate a good intro. And this had a pretty good intro.
What about the guy who made it, Ralph Bakshi? Can we talk about him for a second here?
All right. Give us a good intro.
See where this intro came from?
Yeah. I think I appreciate good intros because we're so bad at them.
Yeah. You said on Evil Dead that you had as your cover photo the girl from the 2013 movie.
Yeah.
Well, R. Crumb, who... You ever hear of Fritz the Cat?
No.
My cover photo on Facebook is Fritz the No Good,
Yeah.
which is an R. Crumb thing. And Fritz the Cat, which was like what Ralph Bakshi did actually in like 72 or something. It's like an X-rated cartoon.
Oh, yeah.
I think I used to see it maybe on Bravo as a kid. It was one of those places that would play the real risque stuff.
Yeah.
But R. Crumb, his art. You want me to wait it out?
Yeah.
We'll be able to guess a volume. Oh, it's just over 700 mil. Whoa. That was nearly a liter.
So what were you saying about Ralph Bakshi?
Ralph Bakshi?
Rasputin?
The thing that kind of rose him the popularity, I think, was back in 72, he did a cartoon based on these R. Crumb characters, Fritz the Cat.
Okay.
And on my Facebook, my cover photo has been Fritz the Cat. Fritz the No Good, it says. And he's like a bum sitting on a curb.
Okay.
But in the movie, he's... I forget his profession. But he like wears a suit, kind of. And he's going all through New York in the 60s. And is highly regarded as being... what it was like living in New York in the 60s, even though it has full frontal cat.
Shit got weird. Bestiality, Morgan? Really?
Yeah, I guess so. But I showed you this Cheap Thrills, this album cover for Power Company. What the fuck was it? Big Brother and the Holding Company. This R. Crumb comic here was in a book that I used to read all the time as a kid. It was just filled with album covers and stuff.
Okay.
And I was just obsessed with that Cheap Thrills thing. I thought it was a comic, actually. And it's pretty risque stuff, but Janis Joplin sings on it. And she sings Summertime in the movie later on.
Whoa, spoiler.
Yeah, but the music is all over the place. But I wanted to tie it more into this artwork that I've been seeing forever. And this connection I have with Fritz the Cat.
Is that what we're doing? Trying to steal each other's notes now?
You can bring it up later.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to say that I used to stare at this thing, and I thought it was actually a comic. I didn't register it as being an album cover, even though it was in this book filled with album covers. But there's a bunch of other stuff in there.
Yeah, you thought it was like in comic books how halfway through it has an ad?
Yeah.
You're just expecting this to be an ad for a comic in a book of album covers?
Yeah, I thought it was just things at the time.
I wonder if it comes with a comic. You know, if you buy the album, you know how albums kind of had some extra stuff in there sometimes?
Oh, definitely in the liner notes and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Achievers letters.
Mm-hmm.
So an interesting thing about American pop that they show right off the bat is documentary footage.
Yeah.
That they sprinkle in every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I found that very interesting.
Yeah.
It sets it apart from some traditional animations.
Mm-hmm. And when they talk about the way that, because it's done in this rotoscope art style, some of the footage, because this all, I think, started, because some of his other works are more cartoony, but there was a point where I don't think he could get enough money to keep going with something, so he started drawing over war footage, and then sometimes due to time constriction or whatever, he would have to just like desaturate an image to try and make it look cartoony.
Okay.
Which you see even in American Pop, some
Yeah.
of those things.
Yeah, I can see that this movie definitely paved the way for Scanner Darkly and Waking Life.
How's that?
Just like with the rotoscoping and, before Scanner Darkly, I think that's the first time I've ever seen that really done to that effect. And considering this was probably like 20 years before, it was pretty amazing, some of the shots, like how realistic they were.
Yeah, it was done. They had almost like a green screen type thing.
Yeah.
Where they'd have the actors acting it out.
Yeah.
And then they had painted backdrops, basically.
They sprinkled in that documentary footage.
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's shots where I think he's on a bus and he's driving through the city and it's live action B-roll out the window. So there's a lot of liberties that were taken in 81 that haven't been put into, like, the ones that I just said, Scanner Darkly and Waking Life, even though Waking Life took a lot of liberties with their animation.
Yeah, he's pretty good, though, at not cheating too hard doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it was still a ton of work.
Oh, yeah.
I still meant to show you that YouTube thing, but where it shows he's got these, like, giant pile, and he's like, yeah, that took them about 4 months for one guy to do that. And, how long would that translate onto the screen?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
he's like, 15 seconds.
Yeah, you really get a taste of that when you watch Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
And then you watch the little documentary.
I wasn't...
all the work that they did, and they're using green screens as well as stop animation. And it's just so elevated, man. Like, the caliber that they're doing stop animation now is amazing.
When you ask me, I think if I watch that, and because you never know how people are going to react to, like, the new Lion King, whatever, Dumbo.
Yeah.
And with that, I think you asked me offhandedly, and I was like, no, I didn't see it. And I almost didn't know if you were being sarcastic, how enthusiastic you were about it.
Oh, really? Yeah. No, I loved it.
But I did see, because it's on Netflix or something, right?
Yeah.
And it has in the description, it took 40 animators X amount of time to make this thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot of hard work, eh? Stop motion.
And I just love that behind the scenes documentary style anyways, to really see the inner workings of how they did it. And once you watch the documentary, you're like, fuck, I gotta watch the movie again, because you appreciate it that much more.
Where'd you watch the doc?
They're both on Netflix.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw Pinocchio in its own thing.
Yeah.
I should have clicked on it, right? It'd probably be in there.
Yeah. All right.
One other thing I was just going to say about Bakshi here is he was doing that style for quite some time. He made a Lord of the Rings cartoon movie, very much the same.
I've seen it.
Yeah, that's him. He made Cool World.
Later on,
yeah. He made...
I was going to bring that up because that and Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yeah, that would be another contemporary of this dude, yeah.
But yeah, it always makes for a great watch. I really enjoyed American Pop. I actually watched it for the first time at the height of COVID, during lockdown, on a like a video, what would you call it? I think it's like Netflix party or something like that, where you can watch it online with people.
Yeah.
And was doing that pretty heavy with Wes. And he's actually the one that brought up American Pop. And yeah, I think it stands, like, where do you think on the scale of Perfect Blue? And I can't even, you didn't even see Perfect Blue.
Fuck. I meant to watch it, so next time it came up, I could say what I thought briefly.
Why,
Next time.
Why are they going to watch the movie if you won't watch the movie?
Not a great sell.
So yeah, documentary footage. We're in Russia.
Yeah.
The Sando brothers come flying in.
Yeah. Czars getting thrown around, that word.
Yeah. Right off the bat, you get a character's name. Zalmy.
Yeah.
Belinsky. Zalmy Belinsky.
Oh, yeah. One thing
Son of a preacher man.
I just wanted to see if you noticed one thing. Because when I was rewatching it during that... Because besides the live action footage, there's these rough sketches and stuff like that thrown into that footage. And there's like a orchestral Freebird kind of at the beginning. Did you notice that?
No.
The music sounded...
Like Freebird?
Yeah.
No. This was before I really started...
There was lots of eye candy. There was like sketches of McDonald's.
It wasn't...
Popular gas stations.
Oh, yeah, of course. We're talking about the intro.
Yeah.
I thought I brought this up like half an hour ago. Yeah, because the intro is really setting up.
It's a snapshot of life.
You can watch the intro, and it tells a tale of what this movie's really about.
Mm-hmm.
Is the development of America,
mm-hmm.
and how it was, developed a lot by the immigration and all the people coming over.
Yeah.
And, it's all about the American dream and generational gaps, you know what I mean? Following through, a whole family tree at a quick pace, is another feat that you don't see done very often in cinema, let alone in animation.
Unless you're fucking Richard Linklater.
Yeah, but even, Scanner Darkly goes on a couple days. And, Waking Life's just like an acid trip of a documentary, really.
I was thinking of Boyhood.
That's not animation.
Oh, yeah. Fuck the real world.
No, but that was valid. I didn't pick up on that.
Subtle, eh?
Yeah.
You're dazed and confused on that shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, like I said, great intro. Really gets you into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And goes into the documentary footage.
Yeah.
And right into the Sando brothers flying in.
Yeah. Pogrom.
Yeah, there's a lot of commotion.
Jakov.
You see him in the school. Yeah, Jakov.
Jakov.
That name did not age well. But Jakov, the rabbi father, had to go down with the ship. He wasn't leaving the church.
Fuck. Gotta flee anyway. So, city's on fire.
Yeah. They come on to America.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes right to...
What? A lady in a red dress?
You see a lady in a red dress?
Yeah, she's singing a song. I don't care. I don't care.
Those red dresses. That's really a ongoing thing in season 2.
Yeah, she gets her solo shot.
And then Lou's there. Mover and a shaker, that Lou guy.
Yeah. Weasels the kid in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Penny.
He's not going to hear no evil, see no evil.
You want to make a penny?
Yeah, penny. Yeah. Big bucks back then.
So for that penny, he wants him to go and...
hustle around pamphlet dies?
Pamphlet, yeah. Kind of like the... what would you call it? You read this and it tells you all the acts that are going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, he was excited about him.
Yeah. But, you got to show him what to do. So Lou goes out and works the table.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zelmy gets out there and, he's a natural. He's a genius.
Nails it.
Yeah, nails it. And, now without father figure, seems to go astray. And, you can see where this is kind of going with this Lou character and Zelmy.
Yeah.
But when they come out of the place, he was trying to get his penny. And Lou starts giving him guff. Like, I drove him around in the car, gave him some apple cider. What do I
Trust
give
me,
him a
I've
penny
been
for?
in Cadillac thousands of times. Trust me.
Yeah. And then the other guy, the other little gangster there, says, no, give him the penny. Remember what he does with that penny?
Sticks it straight up his...
Turns that son bitch sideways. Shines it up real nice.
Yeah.
I'm quoting The Rock here.
I guess so.
Goes up and buys a nanner. This is before Joe actually had a fruit store. Just had a little stand and a monkey.
Oh, yeah, he's got those nanas. Joe's.
Yeah. Firm. White on the inside.
Yeah. And
what's he do with the banana?
He gives it to the Mongoloid from Batman Returns. The guy.
Rude. That's what you call his mother?
Does he give it to or did he get it from the guy with the monkey?
Penny. The penny.
Oh, the penny.
He gives the penny to the monkey.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah. He's the they didn't have cash registers back then. They had monkeys. Yeah.
Well, they
gave
had
him really little pockets. Nickels in the left, dimes in the right, pennies up front.
Millions of years they've had this kind of interaction. Animals, pterodactyls.
This is a crazy segue. Because
Flintstones.
my grandfather actually used to sell cash registers for NCR, National Cash Register.
Nice.
But he told me, when the banana boats started coming in back in the day in Yarmouth.
Out of Speedo?
Like pretty much after the Prohibition era. It was a big thing going down south. These guys were already going down to the Caribbean. So instead of some rum, they'd bring it back bananas.
Yeah.
And there was one point in time when he was a kid that was like everyone in Yarmouth was walking around with a banana.
Nice.
The bananas were just coming in, and everyone in Yarmouth was walking. Everyone in downtown Yarmouth just had a banana in their hand walking around.
Yeah.
So that's a fun visual.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't mean put ass. I meant potassium is what I was trying to say.
Oh. No, you weren't. So he brings that banana back to Mom's.
Yeah.
And she weeps at the generosity of her child.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah. But this kid needs guidance.
From who?
From Lou.
Lou. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
He's getting trashed, getting smashed.
Yeah. Deeper and deeper into the behind the scenes of the show business. And we're only like, what year is this? This is,
This is like World War One.
Yeah. So like 1918, we'll say.
Yeah.
Is when World War One ended.
Yeah. What?
So,
when?
1918. Pretty sure.
And
then Prohibition started right after it.
Yeah.
So we'll say 1918. He's getting into the show business. Lots of girls around. He thinks maybe I can be a singer. He's trying to move into the big leagues.
Fuck. What?
I forgot a whole fucking part. I
What?
forgot a bit. Am I forgetting something?
Wait, you didn't write down your cues?
No.
You're not writing down your... What are you writing down?
No.
You're writing down cues, right?
No, I fucked up.
Peas? What are these? Peas?
Yeah. So.
Where'd you learn to make peas?
Zelmy, Zalmy and his family had to all immigrate to America. Minus cousin Carlos. He stayed over there. They spent...
Frank's cousin?
Zalmy and him spent every day together until they were 4 years old. That's why Zalmy can't vote. He'll never be able to be president.
But at least he had a pony.
No, that's why he won't vote. If they don't want him, he doesn't want them. Don't bring me down.
Why would they come here if they had ponies?
Yeah, I know. If I had a pony, I'd stay put. Sister had pony. Cousin had pony. What's wrong with that?
Was that cousin Carlos?
No, cousin Carlos is the one that Elena has in a picture.
These are two family trees intersecting. We're just talking about one family tree tonight.
Yeah, no, you're talking about Jerry's. I'm talking about George's.
And we're
not
not
supposed to be talking about Belinsky's.
Belinsky. Were they always Belinsky? I know Benny was a Belinsky. What was the rest of them? Belinskys.
They were Belinsky's.
Excellent.
Zalmy was a Belinsky.
And his father before him.
Jakov was Belinsky.
Of course.
Everyone Belinsky. We got through the pennies, bananas, and Yarmouth. So this kid needs guidance. Is he singing during the... Yeah, this kid's family's already been pretty hurt by fire.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that in the same circumstance...
Strikes again.
Takes his mom.
Yeah. Left with just Jon Favreau and the Statue of Liberty.
Lady Liberty, Jon
helping
Favreau.
Him mourn.
You stole my move.
Little pinch at the end.
Yeah. No, knuckle. Counterclockwise.
Swirl. All right. Speaking of puberty.
Now he has no one but Lou.
Yeah.
So Lou really takes him under his wing.
Yeah.
And he's working him, putting him on stage.
Mm-hmm.
They're worried about him growing up too quick.
Yeah. He was 4 feet last month, and now he's 4'2" and a half.
You think he's heightening?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to. This kid shot up 2 inches. Any higher than that, then I'm going to need to go back to that paralegal crap. I offered him cigarettes now that his parents aren't around.
Yeah, but, as he gets older, it doesn't, it's not what it all cracks up to be. Ends up being a horse's ass.
Yeah. Well, the horse told him how to make peas.
How do you make peas?
I don't know. That was from that scene, though. I think we had all the stuff with the cues. You're drawing cues,
what
right?
Do you think
You're
that's
writing cues, right?
What do you think that's alphabet soup back there?
So, he's exposed to mustard gas.
So he's working a bit as a horse's ass.
Oops.
Yeah. There's only one more thing that could be embarrassing than that. There's only one way to put sardines in that shit sandwich. Then I'm getting shot by a fighter jet in the neck. Career ruined.
Yeah.
They're worried about his voice getting a little scratchy.
What an inopportune spot to hit.
This guy instantly is clown material.
Yeah.
What else can you do?
Go after the girl.
Yeah. Clowns can still get down.
Yeah.
You meet Bella.
Yeah. He comes from a great line of quitters. Yeah. I'm a great quitter.
He thought that, this flapper would probably be a good mother to my children.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a liking to her.
Flapper. Deep cut.
That's what they called them back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's still working the crowd as a three-humped camel. And, you know, the guy that kind of owns the joint, Nicky, they don't have a fat Tony, they got a fat Nicky in this. He's kind of saying, so what are you going to do with her? And he says, you going to get married? And he's kind of hesitant about it. But then Suntan there, no wonder he's the hothead, comes in and says, you want the kid or you want the woman fixed? He goes, we want the kid. Then get married. So he's kind of forced into wedlock. I'm sure he would have anyways, but there's a little bit of pressure put on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, all that. Oh, you fucking beat me to it. I was gonna say, you didn't want Tommy to be what's his name?
Benny.
Yeah.
Benny to be a bastard.
Take a sip. You beat me to it. What I was gonna say is they didn't want Benny to be a bastard.
Little bastard.
And Benny's kind of a little bit of an Elton John.
Yeah.
See him tapping away, just watching his mom play.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going fast.
Rocket Man.
We're going fast, telling this movie, but it's the exact same pacing in the movie. Like, things are happening. Kids, married, death, kids, married, death, kids, married. It's an ongoing thing with this family. But
yeah, we've lost touch with Zalmi for a bit now.
he's getting older.
We're following Benny.
Yeah. He's in a all-black jazz band, which, Zalmi doesn't like too much.
Different times
For sure. And, at this point, there's a very subtle scene talking in the
how subtle, brother.
back of a car where, they're talking about the liquor. So you know that this is the first time that you know that Lou's really into something. When he's talking about, they need their liquor at the show. What, you thought it was all about the music?
Mm-hmm.
So it's Prohibition times.
Some of it is business. It's not all show.
Yeah. So you know that Fat Nicky there, he's actually a Don. And when they're sitting there, and this was actually a really cool spot when they're down there and Nicky's eating pasta. And how, perfectly timed the noodles are getting, slurped into his face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You could almost tell that it was rotoscoped at that point. It just looks so real for animation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see Benny as a kid tapping away. They think he's deaf.
Oh, he can hear.
Yeah. No, but that Garbone talks. So Zelmy is kind of putting the pressure on him. You got a wife and a kid of your own. You got to get married. The same pressure that he got. This is how it worked back in the day.
Yeah.
So what did he do? He said, no, I'm going to war. I'm getting out. That was kind of his way out. He actually marries Nicky's daughter and has a kid with her. And that's something that I didn't pick up the first time, that it was Nicky's daughter. For some reason, I actually, after the first time I watched it, I thought that Bella was his daughter, that Zelmy was with.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was around, but he just owned the joint that Bella worked at. And you could see that they were getting bigger and bigger through the Prohibition era.
Yeah.
And
some great mafioso characters up in this.
Suntan. He's a scary dude. But while they were sitting there watching the mother perform, a couple Tommy guns come running in.
The Chicago typewriters make an appearance.
Yeah, shoot up the joint.
Yeah.
Luckily...
you weren't really expecting a gangland shooting so early in this movie, were you?
No, not at all. Luckily, Benny and the Jets were all safe.
Yeah.
But then this goes into the classic barbershop shooting scene.
Yeah.
Which, just the way that they shot it, it was almost like... I feel like they rotoscoped it over a movie that I've seen or something, because it was so reminiscent of something that I've already... Just how he gets shot in the back as he tries to get out of the chair in time.
Mm-hmm. That could very well be.
Yeah.
Sometimes he would do that, take some footage from something else and rotoscope it anew.
Yeah, exactly.
He did that a bunch for that Lord of the Rings one.
Yeah. So maybe he did. That'd be an interesting... Took a Scorsese film and was just like, let me use some of this.
Right on.
Then it goes into a montage of all these shootings and drive-bys and all this stuff to happy old ragtime music. I thought that was a pretty funny choice of score.
Yeah. Some Scott Joplin. A couple of rags.
Yeah. And then do you remember what's in the box?
Harmonica.
What's in the box? They're all sitting back, watching some TV. Bella goes to answer the door.
Oh, you mean the explosion that kills everyone?
Yeah. Just her.
Just her.
Pretzels. This box is pretzels.
Yeah. That was a sad moment. Yeah. This family tree had experienced so much hardship. I was just hoping it would be uphill from there.
Yeah.
But then he went to war.
Yeah. Luckily, he saw... Yeah. Yeah, and actually, another connection I have of my family tree is my grandfather's brother. So, like, my great-uncle Frank...
Knew a guy who went to war?
Was kind of getting onto the ships with the rum running and whatnot.
Oh. Gonna have the Canada FBI coming after.
He didn't want any part of it, or just wanted to at least, pave his own way, allegedly. Which I think that Benny was trying to do. So he was actually enlisting to the war without letting his parents know. And then he'd go to his little brother, who's my grandfather, say, go check the mail. If there's anything for me, bring it right to me. Don't let the parents know.
Oh, that's some secrecy right there.
Yeah. So was it an attempt to get away? Or was it an attempt to, just pave your own way? I'm not quite sure.
Options are limited back then, buddy.
But it's interesting because in my notes I had that he was drafted. But he didn't get drafted. He wasn't sent to war. He actually enlisted. He took the time to go and try to get into the war.
Did you track down who wrote that note? Was it someone who didn't see the damn thing?
It was Phyllis.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Yeah. You know what they say about those left-handed people?
Mano Sinistra.
Through the war. World War II.
Well, you walk around for a bit, and then you play harmonica.
This is the first time you see the harmonica.
And he sucks at it. I don't know. I didn't know this previously, But harmonica's a lot different than a piano.
Well, it's like playing a piano with your tongue, isn't
What? Oh, harmonica.
Go on.
So he's got the no piano blues, playing their harmonica, and then he finds a piano.
Yeah. Well, Benny, this is literally what you signed up for. Stop pissy pantsing around. You can't play harmonica.
Yeah.
Go save our country, would you?
Yeah, so he's wandering around, and he finds a piano, and he starts jamming out, getting his fix.
This family tree's half burnt already.
Yeah. It's terrible.
Actually, Benny's the only one who doesn't have a fiery fate. But tragic nonetheless. Tell us what happened.
So he's just there. He's rocking out to one of the tunes he likes to play to warm up on piano. When suddenly a German creeps upon him. He kind of notices. Starts playing a tune that's more to his liking.
What did he pull out?
His Pez dispenser. And yeah, takes Benny out. Our second protagonist to drop out of the pic. Well, actually,
Fills Benny full of Pez.
beware the Ides of March.
And then you see the white eyes of young Tony. Hey, Tony. Sitting there with Grandpappy, Fat Nicky. That's what they call him on the streets, Grandpappy, Fat Nicky.
Yeah. Is that Zalmy on the TV?
Zalmy's on the TV. His other grandfather.
Yeah. Snitching or something?
His father's father. Yeah, and this was actually probably one of my only notes. That is actually some like interesting dialogue. I got a couple quotables.
Oh yeah.
But interesting dialogue about they're trying to get Tony away. The mom's trying to get Tony away from the TV. Goes, no, he has to watch this. He has to see how a man talks. So like this is one of those things. Let's see, and it kind of backfires because Zalmy starts saying how the mafia did everything for him, but now he's down and out, and he doesn't hear from them at all.
Yeah.
And Nicky's starting to stress out. Him and suntan's getting pretty hot.
All he wanted to do was sing.
Yeah. And Tony hears that, and he doesn't take it as he doesn't know the double entendre about snitching, singing. But you can see that he takes note. Oh, okay. So he always wanted to sing.
That was enough.
Yeah. And Tony also gets into the show business a little bit, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he starts out just deeply offended by people's taste.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. No. He's, first time he's growing up, he's at the Beat Poetry.
Yeah, it's like an underground radical coffee house. They're doing some, some political mumbo jumbo.
Yeah,
it's going about.
His buddy's not that into it, but he's digging it.
Kind of a Charles Manson kind of guy.
Yeah, he's a little spooky, witchy.
Yeah, he's hanging out with Ralph Malph, but he gets out of there.
He'll find his own way home.
Yeah, he'll have a happy day tomorrow.
Yeah, where he just gives his brothers or sisters or whatever the shit on the TV, freaks right out.
Yeah, you see a little bit of, you don't know how this Tony's gonna be, but this is young adolescent Tony.
Yeah.
His mother obviously remarried, had 3 younger, like significantly younger siblings.
Yeah.
And since he is the older sibling, he thinks that, I should give them an English lesson. Because they say they're watching the TV. And he goes, You can watch the TV with it off. And he goes and shuts it off. You're not watching the TV. What are you watching? Do you remember what else he says? Your brains are falling out like your teeth.
Yeah.
What, get 25 cents from the brain fairy last night?
And he cracks another thing about brains, too.
Yeah. You're losing your brains, your nose, your ears.
There you go.
Really freaking out. And then, that's enough. He decides, screw your guys, I'm leaving home. Who does he pack the car with? I guess he's now with the traveling show. He's driving there's trumpet players, it's like a clown car. 14 people get out of this car.
Yeah, it's hilarious, actually.
And do you remember where they are?
Kansas?
Where am I?
Always Kansas.
Kansas? They can't believe it. No place like home.
Yeah, it's shocking.
Yeah. So now that he's in Kansas, what the hell are you going to do now, Tony?
Dishwash?
Yeah. He meets Becky out back of a diner. Asks for a lobster roll. Didn't have any. Gives him a job.
Corn. Gives him a corn complex.
Yeah. It is corny around in Kansas.
Yeah. Her hair's like corn. Everything's corn.
Yeah.
He's freaking out here. Everything is corn.
Yeah. And so he's working.
Very ubiquitous.
He's working.
Ubiquitous.
He's trying to lay low. Live the Kansas life.
Yeah.
Takes a liking to Blondie.
Mm-hmm.
First time. And, we didn't know the girl's name in X. So we called her Blondie. But she's actually credited as Blondie. So I don't feel bad calling her that.
But this one's got a name.
This is the first time you see that Smog Strangler smile out of Tony.
Yeah, it's wicked.
Yeah. And when he's trying to pick her up, saying that he's not coming back, so this is the last night that they'll have together, Sam Cooke is playing. And this was the first time I actually took note to, not just score, but actual soundtrack.
Yeah.
Was You Send Me by Sam Cooke, which came out a year after Freeman's Little New York was open on Quimpool.
Oh, tight.
Yeah. And, the smooth voice of Sam Cooke took them out into the cornfield.
And he was fucking Wendy under the moonlight.
Yeah. Wendy?
No, shit.
Blondie.
He was fucking Wendy under the stars the night that Elvis died.
Probably true.
That's a deep cut from the odds.
Okay. You think any of the audience is going to get that one? Oh, wait, the odds? Nothing beautiful lasts? I like those guys.
Yeah. It all falls down.
Valid. No, I'm not a big fan.
Make you mad.
Yeah.
Eat my brain.
Yeah. You think that Blondie wanted him to stay? This was stay with me?
No, I'm sure she wanted to carry the child alone.
Well, she didn't know.
No. 10-4.
These women are pretty fertile in these days, it seems.
Yeah.
And, when you have sex in a cornfield, I don't think you're worried about protection.
Hey, now.
Maybe. Yeah. Or the sponge, maybe. It seemed sponge-worthy, at least.
Didn't seem like it.
But no. Papa's a rolling stone.
Down south? Where's he headed? I don't know. Where all the leaves are brown.
What's funny is it cuts from them in the cornfield to a train leaving a tunnel. When usually there's that shot.
Imply.
To imply that you see a train going into a tunnel.
Yeah.
But this is after. So he's gone.
Oh,
he's through the tunnel now.
He's out the other side.
He's on top of the train.
Well, how else do you travel when you don't got any money or prospects, guy?
Yeah. And, Yeah, the only thing that he has is that harmonica.
Yeah. Jeez. Does he suck at it? No, he's good at it.
He's all right at it.
Yeah.
He impresses one of the guys on the train that he's riding with.
Enough that he didn't have to stop.
Or I can't remember, actually. Maybe he sucked at it and Buddy was showing him how to do it or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't think Tony was too musically inclined when it came to any instrument.
No, that's true.
But he did have some talent. Because then
Once he finishes dishwashing?
Yeah. He cleans a dish like no one's business.
Yeah, but he's done with it now.
Yeah.
Ain't he?
How does he feel about it?
I don't know. I'd like you to tell me.
What was that line he said? I can't remember.
Bullshit you do.
What did he say? I'm a dishwasher? I'm a dishwasher and... What's he say after that?
Tell me. Give it to me, baby.
My hands are permanently puckered.
You think these hands have been spread palm olive over troubled water?
We did that, guy. We did that. No, we can't go back in time. We can't revisit that one every episode. We just did that.
Fine then. Let's hook up with a couple of hippies then.
So he's leaving his job, but not before he puts his hands up and says,
Not doing it, buddy. That's your department.
Give it to me.
That's your department.
There was a couple comments from Iceman asking, he wants to see an impersonation from you.
No, you intimidated me too much with yours.
Okay, so this is confirmation that Tony can hold a note, because he's playing California Dreaming on the harmonica as he's walking, and California Dreaming's playing. And as he's playing, Frankie is up in the balcony looking like Juliet.
Oh.
And
Deep Verona pull.
And her and another bandmate pick this guy off the street because he can hold the tune and ask him to come in.
Gets up there.
Frankie and the gang. I don't think they ever actually have a band name, do they?
No.
Which is strange because they get up there. We'll get to it later, but they're, someone big's opening up for them later on.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Let's not get to that just yet.
No. Yeah, so they're up there hanging around with the hippies band.
Yeah.
And then he says, I gotta walk. Frankie says, why don't you take the bus?
Gives him some moolah.
Yeah. And he gets hella motivated. Already he gets started writing on the bus. Yeah. And he's writing for them.
Yeah. All of a sudden he's a writer, ghostwriter.
Yeah.
I can relate.
And you sure can.
You smell me?
Right, do. And you see the way he's enjoying when he's hearing his song.
Oh, he loves it.
I've never seen
he
Tony
even looks
so happy.
different. Yeah, no, he looks different. It's a whole new Tony.
Yeah.
And he's singing along, and he's finally found a bit of purpose.
Yeah.
And I think that was a thing throughout all the generations. They're all really trying to find their purpose.
Yeah.
So this is Tony's moment, where he's kind of finally finding his way into show business.
Yeah.
Because this band doesn't need a harmonica player.
Yeah. Everything is possible.
Is it an actual song that they were singing? Because there is a lot of really well-known songs in this.
Yeah, getting played by these bands as if it's theirs.
But this is one of the ones I did not recognize is the one that they're playing. That's supposed to be Tony's first hit.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that one is. but there was some like duds thrown in there.
Yeah.
As you'll find out later there when she's doing the song about the balloon.
Yeah. Because it cuts to them getting some practice in.
Mm-hmm.
And you really see at this point, Frankie is, a force of nature.
Yeah.
And really driven. And she's like, no, I don't want this to be fine.
Yeah.
We can't be fine. You can't get famous off of fine. You got to be great.
Yeah. Or else we're here doing nothing.
Yeah. Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Don't you want somebody to love?
And then it cuts to that little bit of, I was going to say, a little bit of Jefferson Airplane.
Yeah. Proprietors of What Rabbit.
And oh my God, Tony has took a turn.
Yeah, he goes full Tony.
And this is...
But his face...
Start of the 60s.
Yeah.
Mid 60s. Later 60s.
Late 60s. Yeah, 69.
Yeah.
Summer of Love.
Yeah. And someone, even fair warns him, comes up to Tony and says, I'm pretty sure that this is spiked.
Oh.
And he goes, takes it as if he was running a marathon and needed a drink, but took hot coffee instead.
Oh my God.
It was spiked. And this is, when the rotoscoping took a whole new level because they started using different lenses. They're using like fisheye lenses.
Oh yeah, which don't come across very pretty in the movie.
But it works.
It's different.
I really liked them, especially with the backgrounds and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And you see the band playing, and I've been that guy at a show where the people that are performing, but you're just on your own journey. Like you're just a consumer.
Right.
And you're indulging a bit too much, you know what I mean? I never fell off a stage, mind you. But I can feel for the guy.
Right.
Winds up in a fucking body cast.
Is his face okay?
They didn't say anything about reconstructive surgery or... something. This is a good one. That's a doozy. I wish I could remember it. You can do better than that. I'm pretty sure someone else was actually in a cast. I don't know. He's got the... Give me that magazine up there. Wasn't someone else put in a body cast at one point?
Oh, I'm sure many.
One of the Mendel bombs or something. But what does Frankie
It's go
bring
time.
As a little gift?
The typewriter.
Yeah.
Love that detail where she opens it upside down.
Yeah. Genius. I wonder if that was one of those, as Bob Ross would say, happy accidents. Or it wasn't supposed to happen.
Very well
but
could
they just
be.
played it off.
Yeah. He was actually Ralph Bakshi. Sometimes he would have improvised dialogue, or he would just go record wild sound in cities of people talking and just work it into some of his films.
I dig it. I appreciate that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Quentin Tarantino is actually, I think, said he was a fan of one of his movies.
One of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully this one.
Yeah. Not this one.
No?
No, it's called something else. You'll have to look it up for yourself.
Poor Tony. That's not what he needed. He did not want a typewriter.
But you can use it to write your songs.
Because as soon as he gets out, he is hurting. And he doesn't... it's weird that...
Step off, Frankie.
There's a time lapse here, obviously. Because, he did one hit of acid, ended up in the hospital. But now he's on the junk. He got on the junk. People usually don't fiend for acid like that.
Oh my God, yeah, he's full junkie.
Yeah, People Are Strange.
Yeah.
Another great hit. weaseled its way in there.
That conversation on the phone is pretty wacky, eh?
Yeah.
Where he's saying that he got left behind, but they're doing great. And then he's just like, "You got any dope? You got any smack?"
Yeah.
And then he drops the phone, picks up the variety, and sees, oh yeah, Frankie Hart
and Johnny.
Johnny.
Here's
That's where I was hoping to see the band name, actually, in that newspaper bit.
Yeah.
But it said just her name.
Yeah. And then that frame, the first of many frames of Tony crying. Yeah. And it's nothing but downhill for Tony from here on in.
Yeah. He goes and visits the band, like, you ever see Pink Floyd, Sid Barrett stuff, the Wish You Were Here, where he comes to the studio and he's all messed up?
No.
Or he looks way different.
Hmm.
I mean, he was all spaced out or whatever, but it just reminded me of how he shows up there.
Yeah. Well, this is where, the movie starts reminding me of a lot of stuff just that I've heard about all these bands back in the day, you know what I mean? It kind of at points, this band reminded me of Almost Famous.
Oh, yeah.
How those guys are just, because you hear all these stories of these bands and how, there's always the one guy. There's always the one person that's just going way too overboard with the drugs, and everyone's just like, oh my fuck, we need him on a good day.
Yeah, Frankie's getting trashed.
Yeah. And
singing songs about the balloon here.
Yeah.
But she don't like it.
Yeah. You know what that balloon is filled with? Another type of H, not helium.
Sorry. Oh yeah, so then she's like,
oh yeah, okay, so yeah, see documentaries and you hear stories about bands, but Almost Famous is one of those movies that like you actually get to see like an interpretation of some of those inner workings. Mm-hmm. So it did remind me of that film. Right. And I might have to go see that movie again.
Yeah.
If it's in theaters, I'm not sure.
We'll see. Knock on wood.
You gotta knock 5 more times, buddy. Or else it doesn't work. That was too many. You might have to subtract a few.
Great maths.
Mafska. But yeah, so he shows up to see the band. And he's already saying that, I'm sick, I need some drugs. Like, hey, if you can't handle the gear, man, stop taking it. I wish that worked. If, like, AA meeting or something like that, that's all you do. So you go there and someone says that, and you're like, you know what, that's true. I should just stop doing it.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
just, if I can be moderate, then nothing at all.
Yeah, nothing at all. Nothing at all. But then Frankie, he didn't expect Frankie to be this happy. But she was ecstatic to see him.
Ho ho.
She kind of actually gave him the same excited hello that Elaine would give someone. She gave him a bit of a get out onto the ground.
Yeah. Nothing without you.
Yeah, where you been? Oh, at least I made you say one. Don't you know I'm nothing without you?
Oh, Mickey Mouse was way better. You're right.
And then cut to them, loving each other, loving the needle. It's an ugly night for Frankie.
That smile, though, when he realized he got her back.
Back to the Smog Strangler
smile.
Oh,
my goodness.
And it's worse because you know, when people are doing these drugs, their physical starts deteriorating and stuff. So he's even worse looking when he smiles, but doesn't hold her back.
Bow, 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 bow.
So that consummate their vows over a spoon. And then who comes on stage? Who's
if
cameos?
If they ever had a kid, it would be born with a silver spoon.
The cameos of all cameos, like this, like today's age they're doing Tupac holograms.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the 80s, this was the hologram of Pac.
Oh, yeah.
Because they drew in Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
And he's opening for these fucks.
Who are just backstage stoned out of their gourds.
Yeah, especially Tony.
Oh, my goodness.
Everyone but the kid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like the kid is just randomly there.
I wish they kind of, like, at least attempted to say how the kid got backstage.
I know. And then he just flashbacks to the corn girl.
Yeah, sees it in his eyes.
Yeah.
Maybe his hairs.
Yeah, where'd this kid come down? You track him down? Anyway, this kid's dad's a mystery as much as he is.
Yeah. So you get his name, and this was mind-blowing to us. His name's Little Petey.
Yeah.
But do you remember why his name's Petey? They call him Little Petey because they say, well, who's Big Petey? And he goes, my dad. So, you know that Blondie gave him a totally different name, didn't want the son to know anything about the real father.
Succeeded.
Gave him a little bit of a story. But, Tony knows right away. And Tony's just way too fucked up. And he realizes that he's in Kansas.
Yeah.
And actually walks out to that same cornfield, but it's all mowed down. And has himself another cry to Summertime by Janis Joplin.
Well, it's like a Gershwin tune or something, but they really kicked it into a new gear.
There's a couple bands. Yeah, speaking of, Little Petey, got to give him the gears.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They gave Frankie the gears.
Yeah.
A quick little Sam Stone story for her, I'm sure, in the green room. But, that shot, another terrible shot of Tony as he slowly comes through the crowd. And it's like, trying to get over her on the stretcher. And he's like tucking her arm in and making sure she's kept.
Yeah.
Which is always, they show that in a lot of films, like someone trying to preserve the dead body for that, like couple of seconds.
Yeah.
Keep a little bit of dignity.
Yeah. Yeah, she goes from singing to the kid. Some Janis Joplin.
Do you think Frankie died at 27?
Might have.
Yeah, they had Jimmy and Janis pretty damn close together.
I guess most of the club's there, eh?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't make sense if Kurt Cobain was there, am I right?
Wrong era.
True that.
So what, the kid's living with Tony now?
Oh, Jim Morrison was in there too. People are strange.
You're fucking right. You've discovered a pattern.
Mm.
Everybody in this thing was 27 across the board. Or younger. Or wrong on that front. Unless you just discovered the key. The one thing that ties this whole family.
Amy Winehouse wasn't even in the batch yet.
A lot of people said this movie was totally not relevant because the stories were all cut off and who gives a fuck. But, maybe you found a common thread to tie at least everything together.
Yeah, well...
To why this story should have been told to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
Just with that one fucking comment.
Yeah. Okay, say that again. You made me sound really good. You gotta say that again.
I'm a fucking tearjerker.
Yeah.
Good thing Tony didn't overhear that.
You jerked me all right.
Yeah, so he's there. He's staring at the naked woman across the street. This kid walks in with some cornflakes, right? Sets him right off. He hates corn so bad.
Where are we at?
Right there. He spends his entire life running away from corn. This was the thread we just established. He tied the whole thing together. We fist bumped because I got it.
Kurt Cobain and Amy Winehouse weren't even living at Sacktown at this point.
Too regional.
I did that for you, man.
I know, but I have to appeal to a wider audience.
Yeah. The sevens. And sevens.
Yeah, everywhere's got a 7. Corn.
Actually, that's a nice name.
Yeah. So is American Soda.
Might name my daughter 7.
No. Go with Soda. Soda's a great name. American Soda.
What do you think people thought the first time they heard Blanche?
Well, they probably thought it probably comes from the French blanc, which means white.
So why is this kid living with Tony now?
He wants to figure out how to write songs.
What happened to his mom? Where's Blondie at?
You'd never want to know. You think The Fox and the Hound came out in 81?
It's all about
Bambi came out even earlier.
Finding these father figures.
Yeah.
But he actually finds his father.
Yeah, it is pretty coincidental, right? Let's fucking push that and
I don't remember
we dock a point for that.
Yeah. The cornflakes. 2 big
That's a hit to the back of the head, that.
Yeah, points deducted.
Yeah. Holding.
Yeah.
Careful.
So it's funny that, this is, I think, the first plot hole or something that could have been utilized a bit better is
the integration of corn.
The effect of this scene, and like the cause and effect of this scene, where
corn in effect.
He's trying to say, he's telling the kid to go back to Kansas,
where corn is,
and he's going, you need money.
Yeah, he's no freak on a leash.
And he goes, I don't need money. And he has this crazy look on his face. All I need is love. And then the kid starts writing. Come to realize the Beatles already wrote that one.
Dang. Missed up.
But
they could have pretended.
This is something that I thought would have followed through, and maybe this is the song that he wrote and performed at the end. But there's no way that inspired him to write Night Moves.
No, this was like a pseudo how his grandpappy friggin' did things, going around with Lou back at the beginning, getting dragged around. Except this time it's just all to get drugs.
Yeah, he's getting. Yeah,
he's got this.
Oh my god, it's terrible, isn't it? Watching this kid. I don't care if he's 2D.
No, you know what?
Getting the fix, watching him get his ass kicked. He's getting his ass slapped by women of the night.
Yeah, and this is a great time to bring up the animation of the faces for a second. Because I was thinking about it, and sometimes the way that the animation is done, it takes away from the emotion and stuff that would be overdone in a cartoon to really express it. And in this one, you're seeing them go around doing their schemes, whatever, all these stops. But there's this point where he's kind of like jamming, but he's just like, doing weird stuff with this.
Yeah, Tony's got this jaw thing going on. They did a great job of adding all that.
The art style makes that part super weird and unusual for a movie.
Because he was doing that earlier in the apartment, actually. And his jaw was going. He had the shakes and the scratches, and you feel for this kid, and he's like walking over homeless people on the street. But he picks up some game, It looked like Tony was trying to score off of two pimps. And then all of a sudden, this kid, little Petey's the cool kid. Yeah, got somewhere to be?
No.
All of a sudden, little Petey's the cool kid. Fucking got some strut going on. Borrowed your glasses for the remainder of the film.
Yeah, I've been foreshadowing this scene all freaking night.
And finally, the payoff.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're going around. It's like Bubbles and the guy from Kids. Telly. And, the kid's protecting him now while he's sleeping from fucking goons coming up. Gonna give him a good kick and a good steal his $8.
Yeah. This is when...
takes his fucking busk money.
Go back to Kansas City. Or, not Kansas City. That's Missouri. Go back to Kansas.
Too flat.
Toto. Yeah, too flat.
Well, this isn't the Himalayas.
Yeah, but Everest. Yeah, and there's something implied with that too, because the way that he brings up Everest, it's like he wants to reach the top.
Yeah,
of something.
It is a big mountain, right?
Yeah,
it's an achievement.
He's got a little bit of fire in his eyes. You can't see them because of the glasses.
Fuck no.
But he's sitting on this bench, and poor Tony is, give me
poor Tony. This friggin' kid.
Well, that's what I was getting to. But, give me a guitar.
No.
Are you going to play it? No, I'm going to pawn it. I'm going to pawn it, then I'll re-pawn it back.
No.
Yeah.
What, you don't trust me?
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't.
Then why stay with me?
Yeah, well, you know why.
Well, here's a harmonica, kid. 'Twas Benny's.
Yeah. Why you giving me that?
Give me the guitar.
No, you know why. Says it back to him.
You know why.
Passes back the lip.
You know why.
And then takes the guitar. And then the messenger comes.
Oh my god. Yeah, he just disappears. Some dude comes and gives him what? A little bit of drugs?
A package.
Yeah.
But it's funny because, he's like, don't sell it all in one place.
Yeah.
Like, it's the exact opposite of what you hear. But this is a kid. You got to give him a couple guidelines, cut it into...
Yeah, it's just a block.
Didn't even give him a scale.
Yeah.
That kid's getting gypped.
Yeah.
So what does he do? Holds on to it for 10 years. Stays on the bench. Waits like 10, 20 years. I'm not sure how much time passed. But now that he's a man and he can figure
Until
out...
hell freezes over.
Yeah, hell's a place for children, right?
Yeah, oh my god. Pat Benatar in this? Great.
Yeah. And we're,
Oh, but before he wakes up...
We're in the 80s now.
When he says, was there anything else?
Yeah. Yeah, what is that?
And he said, like...
He does give him something. Like a piece of paper or something.
He says...
Bye.
Say goodbye.
Yeah. And it's like really quick close up to the hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really catch the wave of it.
Yeah.
That curve.
Yeah. So then time lapse.
Yeah. Hell is for children.
And he's slanging hard.
That same, or not that same Coke, but it makes more sense that it was Coke.
It's the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same shit.
But he's older now. You don't get high on your home supply. And
it was cold. He froze.
Mm-hmm. And where, like, Tony, he was, like, giving the shit of people when he was younger.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't end up that old there in that whole scenario. But this dude growing up to really dig into, like, all the heritage.
Yeah, it was...
He's finding inspiration everywhere.
Yeah. Nature over nurture.
Yeah.
He was meant to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
Everything about his background all led up to this blonde, drug dealing 80s bastard. But he's a pretty cool guy, I must say.
Yeah.
Walking around, he's jamming, he's just throwing the bags around, he's getting the money, throwing the bags, money, bags, money.
He does that wicked hand behind his butt move.
Yeah, classic.
It was cool.
I've used that before.
Fuck yeah.
But, yeah, he's jamming. And this is when, I really picked up on, his whole background is leading up to this because he's going... And then he sees this rabbi just minding his own business, saying a prayer. And what does he do? Props guy?
Snaps to it.
What's he do? Something like that. There you go. And then what's he do? Yeah. And then he just goes back to it.
Yeah. Gets his groceries. Yeah. Goes about his day. It's a show about nothing at the end of the day.
Yeah. Goes meets up with George at the coffee shop. You think he's got a George?
He does, of course.
Seems like a bit of a lone wolf.
Yeah, you're fucking right.
But works himself up to be, how all these family members.
I heard the way to not be a loser is if you have all this time to spend alone, to not spend it wanting, but working on yourself. And he does this by working on the beginnings of night moves, plucking away a little.
And all these minus jack off, minus the jack off at the start of the movie, all these family members have lived outside of show business. And this was his kind of foot in the door of show business, was selling these drugs. Because he shows up at the studio and everyone's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you showed up.
Giving away songs.
Yeah. And this,
with every ounce.
Yeah. These are my songs. Who wrote them? Me.
What do I look like? A fountain of filth?
Yes. What do I look like? A fuck fountain? And he says, either listen to my songs or call another snowplow.
Yeah, you freaking idiot.
You idiot. So, Buddy pipes up, says, I'll listen to one of them. And you think he should have went with Night Moves? You think Night Moves is the best thing he had in the artillery?
Brother, that isn't even Bob Seger's best song.
No. And I saw Bob Seger live.
Oh. That'd be fucking joyous. I'm actually super bummed I didn't see him. You're a real bastard.
Nonetheless, that's the song he played.
Yeah.
I thought it would be something that kind of would...
I mean, it's a good song.
But it would be more fitting with... Like, it would have been nice to be a song that he could have written at that dining room table when his crazy old man ran out. But he does switch it up.
It's a crazy choice of song to be your breakthrough tune. I mean, look at the debut songs of big bands. Not to say a Bob Seger is like a Led Zeppelin, but the first song on the first Zeppelin album, Good Times, Bad Times, right? Banger out the gate. I don't think this is even Bob Seger's first song.
Not his first, I wouldn't say.
It's probably like his 18th hit. Against the Wind been out 35 years before this thing came out. Like Radar Love and Twilight Zone. 10 years apart. Golden Earring. What were they doing that 10 years?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a complete success story.
And did you notice the song that was playing because it started after Hell is for Children.
Pretty vacant.
It started showing like the kind of punky side of the 80s. These guys always lived on the outside of the norm in general with prohibition,
addiction.
You know, they were always
viceful.
I
don't know if that's the right word for this, but vice-ridden
and just not, you know, the alternative American dream almost. They weren't white-collar people by any means.
They were trying to Frankenstein together a guy eventually that had all the skills combined.
Yeah.
Some of them could write songs, some of them could play songs. Yeah. None of them could.
And in the 80s, this equaled out to be, you know, the mohawks and the safety pins through the noses and people doing front flips on the dance floor and mosh pitting, what people call as fun. Right?
Despicable.
But I was trying to find out what song was playing during this scene.
Yeah.
So I Shazammed it. And the song is called No Results by the Try Agains. So I'm definitely going to have to look that one up again.
Yeah. Pretty vacant, that lot.
What?
Sex Pistols. SEX Pistols.
Whatever.
Okay. So the birds and the bees and the blue suede shoes. He jumps into a medley here.
Yeah, so
heart songs.
He kind of talks like a mix of Tony and Mitch Hedberg a bit. This Big Petey. Don't you think? Or is he medium Petey now?
Yeah.
Think they still call him Lil Petey?
He's got a super cool cadence.
And then the movie just kind of ends.
It ends with a powerful medley of ballads and rock songs. And
it's almost like Marty wrote it. Can't tell what you're doing right now with those glasses. Are your eyes wide and surprised looking?
Well, I just feel like the reflections of everything that's come before it gets to culminate in this one moment.
And it brings you into a new era? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Where I'm a free bird and I only eat cage-free, baby.
So if this movie continued through the decades, where do you think it would have went? Into the 90s?
Oh, you know,
what would
there was other adversity and hardship out there.
What would Little Petey look like?
Oh, he was probably 6.5.
Do you think he went grunge, or do you think he went hip hop?
Depending on when
how cool when Screw was happened down that street.
I didn't calculate the years all that hard, but if they hit glam metal, no good.
Yeah, but glam metal would have been done by the time Lil Petey came through.
I mean, I pray.
We'll call him 3-Pete for short. When 3-Pete comes through. he would have at least been in the 90s. So I'm thinking Adidas tracksuits and Kangol. Because you can't lie, in the 90s, hip-hop became the new rock and roll.
I mean, if you got to say it, you got to give full praise to Aerosmith. What do you say?
I know that, the day the music died might have been when Richie Valens and Big Bopper went down. But when Kurt Cobain came out...
You gonna Don McLean me or whatever?
Another thing why I think rock and roll took a turn and became like depressive Kurt Cobain kind of music is because all the free love of the 60s and 70s ended up in divorces for all the 90s kids.
Yeah.
So
you're the reason a bipartisan government exists.
Yeah. And then, hip-hop really took over for that sex, drugs, and rap and roll lifestyle.
Is that a threat?
Oh, yeah. It was a promise. It was a promise, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We had the Baroque era back in the 1600s to about 1750.
Yeah.
Right?
So that.
Then we had the classical era from 1750 to 1820. What do you say?
Like it?
Romantic era, 815 to 1910.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had the modern era, 1900 to present.
Yeah, good times.
But what's the math say? Statistically speaking?
Yeah, what are you getting at?
I mean, tell me the difference. Like, when you're sitting around listening to your tunes from the romantic era, right? And this is not getting jiggy with it, romantic songs. This is romantic era songs.
Yeah. This is, na 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 na.
Yeah, none of that.
None of it.
You're right. You got to take it straight back to the corn.
Yeah.
Only corn around. But we'd be entering a new
era.
Yeah. We're going to be ahead. Like,
I feel like you've been trying to get me to say that word, but you just said it like 20 times.
So, anyway.
Start of a new era.
Yeah.
You're right. I agree.
Think about how everything is. Yeah. Music.
We've talked about this, that the new era started in 93.
Yeah, but music changes are driven by cultural, social, and like technological changes and stuff.
We're in the technology era now.
You can see it now, right? Yeah. How you can expect a change.
Yeah.
And I want to be the first to say it, and I want a patent or a trademark or a royalty. Or I want to be signing little checks.
I said this at the roast, my man.
Yeah. Well, that's in the last episodes.
Everyone was too drunk to actually listen to the meaning behind the whole... What would you call it? A hoedown or hootenanny?
A rag.
Nice. Sclerosis.
The fuck pointed too hard, man.
So what do you think?
That was a little heavy for an animated film.
Yeah.
But as far as criticisms go, I can see how people might have been weirded out by the change in protagonist every 15 minutes and 22 seconds.
The pacing actually is what... It was kind of the driving force of paying attention to what's going on, because it was just like it didn't really stop.
It had a momentum.
Chugga. Tony basically slammed the brakes on.
Yeah.
And it took a little bit more time to go through his story.
Yeah.
But by that time, you're invested.
Well, he didn't have to go off the war, so he got to go and meander out.
You're almost
buttfuck
craving
USA.
a character to support.
Yeah.
And feel for.
Yeah.
You get to this Tony character.
And you realize he can't support nobody from no corn town.
Yeah. And it's just a downward spiral of someone that just got caught in the mix. And there's so many people that got lost in the sauce in this decade. Or this era. The start of this era. The whole era. And, you know, the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, being the rise and fall of the era, you know, around that time, 69, everything started getting lost. You got to think of all the crazy shit that happened in 1969. Like Woodstock happened.
You're fucking shitting me.
But at the same time, people are getting assassinated. Hell's Angels were like stabbing people at
people were getting assassinated
concerts.
back in 63, 68. You spin a dial and choose the date.
And the drugs were at an all-time high. And what started out as actual like protest and, you know, this free-spirited, free love had a meaning. Everyone just wanted to live that lifestyle. Everyone stopped caring about the actual fight, and they just wanted to, you know, do the drugs and have the sex. And
well, when there's a war that you don't believe in,
instead of taking on a responsibility, you just don't want any responsibility.
Just let it go.
Yeah.
So
I actually saw this shit happen with like when I used to go to like raves and stuff. There was like a whole wave of people that... Okay. Get us out of here, Adam. We've got 5 minutes to spare.
All right. So then what do you want to do? You want to hit me with a couple of check marks here? So, what do we say? Some historical significance, some historical context checked here?
What?
Hit me with it. Like, did we cover this?
Oh, I think we...
The political, the social climate at the time of the eras depicted in the films?
Oh, yeah, we poked this film at all angles.
Yeah. Little knuckle at the end. I got you. We talked about the music.
Yeah, I think this is diamond in the rough. And
that's where you like them.
Yeah, that's... Yeah, I think this movie actually, especially for coming out in 81, like these guys didn't even know what the 80s were going to be like. But just in that little, you know, it's really just the final scene, final two scenes or something that paint a little picture of the 80s. But if you look at the 80s as a whole, you know, it does speak to that whole decade, which I found very interesting.
It's the future, baby.
Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job of going through the eras as, you know, as efficiently and as quickly as Rasputin wanted to do with this film.
Blitzkrieg.
What's his name?
Bakshi.
Ralphie.
Yeah.
Ralphie boy.
Yeah. So good. Historical context.
Yeah.
Music.
Check.
We analyze how it all culminated, styles and genres.
27 Club. I think that was the biggest breakthrough of the whole thing.
Corn.
Not to honk my own corn.
Animation techniques.
Not to shuck my own corn.
Yeah. You can do that and thoroughly explore
every kernel.
Each rotoscoped kernel.
Yeah. I see it. I'm picturing it.
The characters.
Good characters.
Tony, Pete, Frankie.
Zalmy.
Zalmy.
Jack Off.
I mean, whatever you need to do while you watch us.
Blondie, Bella.
Yeah.
Missing anyone else? Louie. None of this could have happened without Lou.
No.
Lou was the gateway into show business.
Yeah. Yeah, major motion picture.
Frankie.
With themes like
Johnny.
The Pursuit of the American Dream.
Johnny.
The impact of war and violence on society.
Think about it. Johnny right now on his Wikipedia has spouse Frankie, deceased.
We talked about impact. We talked about legacy.
Deep impact.
Contemporaries. We explored from the director's perspective the sweet corners you can cut, the extra contrast you can emulse your film into, and pretend you drew over it. There was many topics in American.
And everything we said, we can't erase. We can edit, but we can't erase.
Well, I mean, that's history, baby. And really, if you want to be offended, watch, I guess, any of his other movies, because this is probably his least... I mean, I don't want to say the other ones anything about them, really, but gotta cut this part down. But it's probably one of his more mainstream ones. Or go see Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And if you're offended easily, probably past your bedtime, bastards.
Yeah. What's happening now? Shit, I forgot the name of his thing. Bastards.
You said so.
I don't know.